Days like today are really just about getting a safe message about racism across to the kids. So for a lot of young people, it's the only opportunity they get in a school type environment to talk about the issue. We hope that using footballers as role models makes that more of a fun and engaging process for them. But really it's trying to get over the very basics, of the concept of racism, if you like, and helping them to understand why it's potentially dangerous, why it's potentially offensive, and why they have a responsibility, if you can use that term, to educate themselves and those around them about some of the kind of common misconceptions.
I think it's hugely important the club get involved. For the last 7 or 8 years we've run the Show Racism, the Red Card event, and each year it gets bigger and bigger, and I think it's, like we say, it's massively important that the club gets involved right throughout the community to show and get the message home to everybody that racism in any form is totally unacceptable. And I think the club over the years has made massive strides to make sure that that message is getting home.
And how important do you think it is to have some of the lads coming in and participate in this?
Well, I think it's hugely important. The lads are role models to all the kids, and I think by the players being there hammers home the message that the players find it unacceptable, and I think the kids will buy into the message because the players certainly buy into it. And kids are the way forward for the club. They're the future. They're the ones that will get the message back home to their own parents and grandparents to tell them that racism is totally unacceptable.
Can we put our hands together for Danny Karamatari, please?
I'm Adam and I'm from Halton School, and my question is, how would you tackle racism and stop it from happening around the world?
Okay, good question, smart question. Anybody want to come in on that one?
David said, I think it's important, you guys are all the future of our civilization as well, but I think it's important that, I know we talk about us educating you lot and the campaign educating you lot, but it's important that you lot also educate each other and educate people that may be showing racism in and around your schools and around, when you're playing out on an evening time and stuff like that. And if you see it, you can educate people as well a little bit and kind of put them right and show them that it's not the way forward and it's not right. And as you guys all get older as well, it's the impression that you put a long way down the line when you have kids, the impression that you put on your own kids as well to make sure that things like that don't filter down to your own kids, which is going to be like 30 years time, because obviously you'll be all sensible. Okay?
Have your name, the name of your school, and your question for the panel, please.
I'm Ben from Warwickbridge School, and my question is why sport got such a bad history of racism.
Okay, really good question. Why has sport got a bad history of racism? Why has sport got a history of racism? Anybody want to talk about that? Here's them.
Funnily enough, Dave said, on my own personal look on that, I think that, not just in sport, but anything you do, you get jealousy sometimes when people do well, and it's not just with black people or white people or green people or blue people. When somebody does well, if you do well in your work, somebody that's not as good as you at work will put your work down, and that's just the way civilization seems to be. And a lot of black and foreign, even Asian people have excelled in certain sports over years, and sometimes when people excel, like I said, other people try to put them down. So I think that's why it's come about. A lot of black athletes have had a lot of natural ability over the years, and people that want to knock them down a little bit have obviously kind of resorted to the racism side, as opposed to just accepting it and trying to improve and be better themselves.
I'm here at Brunton Park today to support Show Race in the Red Card event, where they do fantastic work coming into the communities of football clubs and getting all the primary schools in under the banner of the football club, because we know that the majority of young boys and girls are interested in football, and just educating them, teaching them about terms about racism and discrimination, what they are, terms that they can use, and ways to ways to learn the fight against it.
And now that you're a parent yourself, how valuable do you see these workshops being for the kids at this early age especially?
they are vital. They're vital because what you find with things, it's just like supporting a football club. You know, attitudes and beliefs are passed down generation to generation, and if you still have attitudes prevailing in the older generation that are maybe, you know, slightly discriminatory, maybe xenophobic, then they are automatically passed on to the children, and it's vitally that we get our future generations, when they're at this formative stage, you know, and educate them about what is and what isn't acceptable, because hopefully that'll curb the amount of overt racist behaviour in future generations.
Workshops that I was delivering were great. The kids took part really enthusiastically. They all seemed to understand the severity of what we were talking about, but could still have some fun as well. We got across the key points about the issue, and I think those young people will go away with a much better understanding of racism and why it's wrong.